and welcome back to the Witch's Court. On today's episode of Witch's Court, death.
We're gonna burn a witch.
Now, let us hear your names and occupations.
Oh god.
I'm roam far and wide, as a mere Punch and Bog first, soon to be a new hero of Punch and Bog's retail organization, Pearl.
Hang on!
Wait a minute, witness.
What's that, Blue Squire?
You're that guy from the previous trial. Just what the heck's happened to you? You look like you've been on one of those ultimate makeover shows.
Whatever do you mean? My name is Amir Punch and Bog the First, soon to be the head of Punch and Bog's retail organization, Pro.
What is the meaning of this, Inquisitor?
I do not care to delve into this witness's personal affairs.
Looks like he remembers him all too well.
Witnesses, pray continue. Oh, dearie, dearie me. It is I who usually ask the questions. I am, you see, but a humble teacher. Call me Miss Primrose. The children.
You wanna read that?
Yeah. No, I think people can read it on the screen. The children of Labyrinthia Primary School have the privilege of learning the truths about this world from me.
An elementary school teacher, huh? Good to know at least one witness seems sensible. The winds carry my song. It's birdly stinging along. Stringing along, parrot and bird ensemble avant-garde. My faithful muse here is Cracker the musical parrot. No one understands music like Cracker, aside from me, naturally.
He cross-examined the parrot! So true.
I think we're going to do that.
I'm excited. Ow, dearie, dearie me!
At least it's not another goat. What a smart bird. He just imitated that teacher perfectly. I'm Luke Triton. My occupation is the professor's apprentice. Misogynist extraordinaire. Luke, but why? What are you doing there? I made up my mind. I'm doing this for the professor. A gentleman has to pursue the truth. But, Luke, that's where the Inquisition's witnesses stand. I'll never forgive that witch. A gentleman shouldn't glare at people as if he wants to hit them in the face.
Luke? Your friend today can be your enemy tomorrow. Such is the hard reality of the battlefield. Witnesses, we will now hear your testimonies. Tell us all of this wicked incident which you've been unfortunate enough to witness.
Look, all Lukes are always tempted by the dark side.
So true. I heard a scream and an incantation, and then when I entered the room, the victim was already all shining. Mayhaps something caused discord between erstwhile friends. Mr. Silcat had a knife at the ready in his hand.
Victim of magic, sparkly and done for, I heard the staff fall on the floor. The professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her right there, face to face.
I see. Thank you all. However, one part of the testimony was somewhat confusing. You there, the singer.
Singer, could you possibly mean me, Birdly the Bard, Your Excellence?
Yes, that would be you, Singer. This staff that you said, sung about. It is as you suspect, my lord. This very witch's scepter.
At a staff, are you just happy to see me?
Yeah,
There
I
are
think
two
they even
different
said
magic-
that, Fen, that it was the other bard that Bardsley was wailing about. This is funny.
Yes, yes. Which I am playing both of them, so if they ever are both on screen, it's just gonna be a wild time.
Yeah,
Especially because I've given them almost identical voices.
yeah.
There are two different magic gems attached, meaning the perpetrator could have used two types of magic. An original thought.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it would seem so.
This gem here enables the use of a gold transmutation spell. Goldor! Goldor. Just the word alone makes the tiny hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Ha ha ha, that's doing alright! That's the dreadful incantation that I, a mere punching bug the first, also heard. Oh dearie, dearie me, I have seen that scepter, so I have.
Clank tips over the golden man. The scepter falls, not the witch's plan.
Oh dearie, dearie me!
How dare she do that to the professor?
By the way, the witch's scepter was found on the floor near the victim. If you'll turn your attention to the sketched plans, it was located right here. Scepter dropped by the accused would naturally tumble to exactly that spot.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, what you're saying amounts to nothing more than a baseless assumption.
You are on edge today, Sir Blue Knight. Is it because your friend is on trial? Perhaps you'd better cool yourself down. Well, anyway, the court accepts the scepter as evidence.
Hey, anyways, my line.
Thank you, my lord!
Inquisitor Barnum, may I ask you something?
What is it now, Sir Blue Knight?
We know that one of the gems is for the spell Goldor, but what about the other one?
A naive question.
Huh?
Naivety may be no hindrance to a baker who spends most of his time amidst bread, but it can be your undoing here in court. Would a knight put a weapon in his enemy's hand?
He's telling me to do my homework, huh? Mr. Wright, I'll look for information about that magic gem in the Grand Grimoire. Thank you, Espella. That would be great. Just leave it to me. She seems very happy to help.
The defender may interrogate the witnesses. Okay.
Our favorite part of the game.
I hope if we fail, we see Maya fucking die.
Hey, we should save, by the way.
Oh, we should so save. You're
We should
so
save.
right. We should so save.
We
There,
should
just
save
saved. Wow, amazing.
in the game,
3DS's abilities.
Yeah.
Should I just press on everyone?
Well, yeah, we can start there. I can't believe the game is dead naming the drunkard guy in his chat box label.
Oh, no, he's still Emir. He's just
Yeah, he still
now-
goes by Amir.
He's just Emir punching Bog the first.
Yeah,
They
the
probably
first.
didn't have space for that.
Probably not. They should have just put Pro. Wow, the
Yeah.
Nintendo DS is incredible.
Hold it!
And what is all this about exactly?
What do you mean, Blue Squire?
Your gaudy, colorful outfit. I mean, your attire was different last time. A little more modest.
The Emir you knew back then is no more. I'm a new man now, born into the higher echelons of society.
I like how you thought about pronouncing that right and then decided, no, it's not for a mirror. What's he drinking? There's a skull and crossbones mark on that bottle.
Enough idle chatter. The witness heard a scream and an incantation. Is that correct? That's right. It's just like what you said earlier, Grizzly Barnum. It was the spell Goldorn that it was, without your doubt. The voice of the accused that said it. However, it's rather peculiar. When I saw the accused and the victim together last time, they seemed to be on friendly terms. The next witness will dispel your doubts, my lord.
Hold it!
Are you saying you think they quarreled?
The other day I saw you all together in this very court, and you were evidently friends.
Well, yeah, that's true, but what's that got to do with...
Now, everyone, listen carefully. No chatting in the back row. What I say now will be in the next exam. Miss Primstone's lesson number 5. Friendship leads to nothing but trouble. People do not break up and part ways in anger if they did not become friends in the first place.
The kids in our class must grow up to be model citizens.
Oh, dearie, dearie me. What I saw in that room curdled the blood in my veins. Mr. Silkhat was pointing that glittering knife ever so threateningly.
Hang on!
Is everything okay, Luke? No, of course it's not okay. The professor was a true gentleman. And no gentleman would go around threatening people with knives. I couldn't agree more.
Silly boy! I saw your professor pointing a knife. Are you insinuating that I'm a liar, you cheeky little whippersnapper?
The professor wouldn't never do that. You don't know him. At least Luke's found someone else to antagonize. Mr. Wright? What is it? I think there's some important there was some important information in Miss Primstone's testimony. Really? Oh, I'm sorry, it's not my place to say things like that. I didn't notice anything. What could that be? What was Espella about to say?
I'm gonna ask her.
I think if you want to keep pressing, you need to come back. But also, that's speculation. I think we should just ask her.
Yeah.
Spella, why don't you tell us all what you've noticed? Oh, is that okay? It's just something I'd like to ask Miss Primstone about. Well, just go ahead and ask her. Excuse me, Miss Primstone. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Oh, it's you, Miss Espella Cantabella.
Miss Primstone, did you actually see the knife that Mr. Layton was holding?
I did, as a matter of fact, yes. I remember that glinting blade very well. A most frightening sight it was, too.
And you saw that from the door, didn't you? Now, if you look at the sketch... When the incident took place, Mr. Layton must have been facing this way, correct?
That must be the case. Otherwise, the witness would not have been able to see it.
Well, that's all I wanted to ask. The more information we have, the better, right? The direction the professor was facing. That could be important.
This information shall be added to the court record.
I'm sorry I jumped in like that, but I really wanted to help. Not at all, Espella. You were able to get some more info, which may just come in handy. You think so? Already better at her job than Phoenix.
Now then, the next witness shall continue with the testimony.
Hold it!
Music.
Would you mind describing what you saw without singing about it? As you wish, my musically impaired friend. Simply put, when I entered the room, the victim was worth his weight in gold, for obvious reasons. He tipped over and fell heavily onto the floor. The room became drearily silent. And then I heard that scepter tumbling across the floor.
Hang on!
May I ask you something, Miss Primstone?
Dearie, dearie me! Oh, dearie, dearie me! My dear, do not frighten me so. I feel like a schoolgirl caught napping during class.
Miss Primstone, did you see the witch's scepter at the crime scene?
Well, about that, I must confess I do not clearly recall.
You don't remember.
When I went into the room, the golden man fell down and made quite the ruckus. That is why I did not notice the scepter being dropped.
So you didn't see it after all.
But I am certain that witch girl had it. She must have been hiding it behind her back.
Objection!
Please don't assume Maya is a witch just because she's been accused. Miss Primstone is certainly quick to make assumptions.
I see. Now we would like to hear the next witness's testimony.
This next witness is a bit problematic.
Yeah, he is a misogynist, isn't he?
The professor does it, and so it's okay.
And to think he almost was starting to get out of his misogyny era, and now he's doubling down. Witch hunting women, you know.
Vengeance for the professor! Women must pay! Luke, open your eyes. Maya isn't a witch. Ever since we came to this town, lots of unbelievable things have happened. And that's why, from now on, I'll only believe what I see with my own eyes.
Luke.
When I went into that room, the only people I saw were the professor and Maya. The professor had been turned to gold, and Maya dropped that scepter.
That's not true!
What? Maya.
I didn't have any scepter, and we weren't the only ones in that. Silence! The accused has no right to speak. Be silent or you will face punishment.
Wow.
We can end this trial immediately should you decide to feel talkative again. I'm sorry.
Well, Luke, is that really the truth? Huh? Did you really see the scepter? I don't know. When the professor turned to gold and collapsed right in front of me, everything seemed to fade to black. And then I could have sworn I at least heard Maya drop the scepter.
The scepter was found at the scene of the crime. That is the unavoidable truth. Only the accused could have dropped it.
This isn't looking good. I feel so sorry for Luke. He's so full of anger and despair that he can't think clearly.
That's Phoenix.
Oh, he's so full of anger and despair that he can't think clearly. You're so right, Espella. He said he can't forgive the witch. I understand how he feels. Anyway, I need to find a way to calm Luke down, first of all.
Okay,
So I think we need to present something.
we do, for sure.
I love that the music just plays when you go to that. Wow, Phoenix's voice got really for a second there. Horse femming Phoenix.
His ears perk up. What?
I think it has to do with Primstone, right? Because
Yeah.
Espella said something was wrong with Primstones.
I think it's about the direction.
Yeah, that would make sense. Let's see. Perhaps something caused described had a knife at the ready in his hand.
So, I mean, this doesn't necessarily say that's not true, but it does
Right.
say
We did add the direction, though. We have to remember that.
we
Even though
added
if
the
it
direction.
yeah, it isn't written on that, but there was a moment where it was like it's added to evidence the direction that he was facing. I'm not too sure that is helpful here, though. What are the other pieces? We have...
Okay, here's the pieces that we have. We have the wall
Let's see,
behind
yeah.
the painting, the crime scene painted green.
I've been painted green. Witchcraft, turning Professor Layton into gold. Okay.
The floor plan, which has the scepter, pointing a
Right.
knife, Maya,
Mm-hmm.
and the Talea Magica.
Necessary for casting spells. Purple. It's like a poison spell or something, isn't it?
Probably.
Okay, so, and then what does each person say? Heard a scream and an incantation, and then the victim was already all shiny. Yeah, that's true, I think. Darkman and done. I heard the staff fall on the floor. I guess that's true. This must have been seen through Miss Myers. Oh, they're not face to face.
They're not face to face. You got it.
Objection!
Luke, you said that you will only believe what you see with your own eyes. But what you think you saw may not be the whole truth. Huh? What do you mean? Take a close look at the sketch of the crime scene. At the time of the incident, Professor Layton and Maya were standing here. Now, we have learned from Miss Primstone's testimony which way the professor was facing. He was facing this way. Oh! You have testified that the professor confronted Maya face to face. But looking at the sketch of where they were standing, one thing is clear. There is a contradiction in your testimony. A what?
Objection!
Whether they were facing each other or not is of no relevance whatsoever. They were the only ones in the room. One was a victim, thus the other must be the witch.
Objection!
I will ask you to wait before jumping to conclusions, Inquisitor. Think back to Miss Primstone's testimony. She told us that Professor was pointing a knife at someone threateningly. However, you can see in the sketch that he wasn't threatening Maya. So then, who was he pointing the knife at?
Hold it!
Luke, what is it? The professor would never point a knife at anyone. I was the one who opened the door to that room, so I was the first witness, and I saw no knife. Miss Primstone's testimony is not reliable.
Oh, dearie me, will you look at this child sputtering nonsense and talking badly of his elders? Inquisitor Barnum? Yes, my lord? It should pose no difficulty to verify whether or not the victim had a knife. After all, that sparkling golden body of his has been found at the scene of the crime, has it not? Indeed it has, my lord. Court attendants, you heard the judge bring the victim into the courtroom.
Seems like they're gonna bring the gold statue. Gold? Professor? Time to traumatize the child.
Yeah. Love that
Give
they're
his
playing
arm.
his theme. That's so fucked.
Oh my god!
Look at that.
Did it get damaged in transit? Professor! Professor!
So this is the power of the gold transmutation spell. Most spectacular. It looks like work of the finest artisans. I assure you it is the work of no artisans, my lord. By the way, the missing arm has not yet been found.
I can't believe this. Professor!
I suppose we should add the victim to the evidence.
The poor professor who, while searching for evidence, became evidence.
Golden Layton!
Golden Layton.
This is unfortunate. I thought the evidence would be as good as gold. But although it technically is, we are still no closer to discerning whether or not the victim was holding a knife.
Hold it!
Let me speak, please!
Maya,
The professor didn't have a knife, and also, there was another person in that room. The real witch was there too. Please, believe me. Accused, do I really need to warn you again? Inside the cage, you are to behave like a bird that has forgotten its song. Speak again, and you shall be punished. Or are you in a particular hurry to taste the flames of justice, little bird?
Objection!
but it's true that someone else could have been at the crime scene. Look at the sketch. The victim was facing towards someone, and that person wasn't Maya.
Sir Blue Knight, your ignorance is no longer even a surprise.
Huh?
You do not know what transpired at the crime scene. You think this man was pointing at another person, you say? Let me tell you this. Nearly everyone in this court other than you knows what Sir Hat was pointing at.
What?
Well, honorable witnesses, is that not so? I am here to bite the first. Love me some gossip and stories of the occult.
Elusive like mist, the magical beast, its chilling breath brings about death.
Oh, dearie, dearie me. You could use some education, Sir Blue Knight. I can offer you private tuition, but it will not come cheap.
If the professor wasn't confronting Maya...
Witnesses, you will now testify. Tell us all about the other presence at the crime scene.
Great.
We all know what happened to the alchemist, so this case is no mystery. Same place, same magic trick. This time, her luck ran out and she dropped the magic scepter.
The truth obscured by a twisted ruse, the witch couldn't vanish but did confuse. It happened because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all these witches. The same magic trick was used?
They are referring to an incident from 3 months ago. Much like this incident, a man lost his life to witchcraft in that very room. It was the master of that residence, Sir Newton Belduke, the alchemist. He suffered death by strangulation. Finger marks were left on his neck. He had locked himself in his study and the key was still in his pocket. In other words, no one could have entered that room.
Perpetrator disappeared from a locked room, just like in this case.
A large amount of powdered medicine was spilt all over the floor.
Powdered medicine.
Sir Belduke was an alchemist. He possessed various medicinal concoctions. Due to the presence of that powder, had anyone entered that room, clear footprints would have remained. Yet there was none.
That's the kind of mystery that the professor would have loved to solve.
Thus, there were 2 unnatural circumstances to Sir Belduke's death: the culprit's disappearance from a locked room, and the fact that they appeared not to have walked on the floor. It's almost as if they flew away.
In other words, it couldn't have been the Demir magic that was used in my case the other day. Seems like the killer levitated above the floor, strangled Belduke, and vanished into the thin air. But what does that have to do with this trial?
It has been 3 months since that murder. Despite that, we still haven't been able to find the witch responsible. But now, having eluded us for so long, that witch has finally been brought before this court. We will have justice.
What? No way. Now he thinks Maya killed the alchemist too. We weren't even here back then, but it's not like I can explain that to him.
Well then, why don't you interrogate the witnesses? Now that you are aware of the connection between the two murders.
Objection!
You can't be serious. 3 months ago, we weren't even...
Defender, you may interrogate the witnesses. May their testimonies lead us to the truth.
The truth.
Okay, hang on. Should we press everyone?
Yeah, why not?
Because sometimes they
It hasn't
pop up
warned
with
us
some
not
things
to.
they say, you know?
Yeah. You're talking about Mr. Belduke's murder, which took place in a locked room?
Yeah, real shocker, all right. Everyone's talking about it. People don't say this out loud, but you know, they're thinking it too,
I don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Ain't it clear as day? He was an alchemist. An alchemist! Alchemy's just like magic, ain't it? Sir Belduke was a man. Only a woman can be a witch. What's more, witchcraft has nothing to do with alchemy. They're different. Somehow. That may be the funniest joke in the game so far to me. It's really funny. Alchemy is the mysterious art of manipulating the forces of nature, or so it is said. Well, that sounds a lot like magic to me. Alchemy's incorporating some regular people. Sure magic, really. You know, a couple of days before the witch got in, there was that lightning that struck.
Lightning?
Glad you're asking, because I like telling that one.
Oh, goody.
All of a sudden, like a bolt from the blue sky, there was this big bolt from the sky. Only it wasn't blue. Sky lit up, turned blood red. Then out of nowhere, old-looking bell tower appeared in a burst of flames. Makes you realize Mother Nature's pretty powerful stuff. You have strayed off the topic at hand, witness. This is a courthouse, not an inn. Save your thrilling stories for later.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So now we've learned what caused the fire?
No, that's the bell tower. That's not the fire.
Oh.
Fire's way further
Right.
back.
Yeah, the fire is further back. The bell tower was still there, though, right?
What do you mean?
When we saw the cat?
Yeah. Oh, bell tower's
Would
still
you
there.
care to elaborate on that, Miss Primstone?
You could say I am a scholar, and my knowledge is vast and diverse. I know a thing or two about witchcraft. Therefore, I have a very good idea of the type of magic that must have been used this time.
The magic behind this mysterious figure that appeared out of nowhere glided through the air and vanished after making the kill.
Indeed, yes. And the witch's scepter confirms my theory.
Ah.
A brilliant deduction. I am honored to have studied under an excellent teacher such as yourself, Miss Brimstone.
She was his teacher? Actually, I guess that kind of explains a lot.
Did I get a gold star, Miss Primrose? Brimstone. Our occult crime analysts have arrived at the same conclusion.
Mr. Wright, I found it. The page about the purple magic gem. The spell's called Familia.
I thought that said familia for a second.
It's close. When
It's
you're with
called
your familia, you
Familia.
cast Familia.
Hey, it's a familia.
One's a good grade in Inquisiting so bad.
So true.
Familia. What does it do? It summons your family to make fun of you.
The spell Familia, bound within this purple gem, is used to summon a familiar.
Oh.
Familiars appear out of nowhere, glide through the air, and vanish when their task is accomplished. They are evil, bloodthirsty spirits used by witches to perform outrageous crimes.
Evil spirits? Are you saying that the witch used a familiar to...
Familia, it makes you fast and furious. It was a familiar that took Sir Balduke's life, and now it has appeared again. Sir Silcat is probably trying to ward off the evil spirit with his knife. What good is a knife against an occult creature? He completed the task given to it by the witch and promptly vanished. Thus bringing us to the conclusion that Sir Balduke and Sir Silcat were both killed by the same witch.
What? What?
What an unexpected turn of events. The two incidents have been shown to be connected, due to the same witch's scepter having been used in both cases. Because no one can take a gem out of a witch's scepter and put it into another scepter. That doesn't work.
And they all look different, as we've learned from the two cases, where they look exactly the same. Oh, this is terrible. Now Maya is accused of 2 murders.
Oh, dearie, dearie me. I was right as always. This gruesome murder will be in the next exam. Make sure to take notes. Now I shall divulge what really happened. We are all ears, Miss Primstone.
We keep wanting to call her Primrose.
I do. I'm gonna press Birdly.
Hold it!
Birdly. It's a beautiful song, sure. But would you mind testifying in a bit more of a comprehensible way? As you wish, Sir Musically Impaired Defender. A certain man was killed some 3 months ago. You mean Sir Newton Belduke, the alchemist, right? It was a locked-room murder, accomplished through the use of a certain mysterious spell. And that same magic has been used in this case, too. The witch that committed the crime disappeared without a trace. She hasn't been found to this day, huh? That's pretty much what I expressed in my song. I knew all that already. Even a peerless bard such as myself may not always be completely up to date with all the latest information.
Then what good are you?
Isn't that so, Cracker? You understand, don't you, my peerless, feathery partner?
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
What an adorable bird. He's imitating you this time, Mr. Wright. I'm being parroted by a parrot.
We capture all witches, without exception. This one may have been at large longer than others, but she will not escape us. Next witness, continue testifying.
Hold it!
And that mystery is... the witch's identity, of course. Can't believe I'm getting stared down by a little kid. Don't get me wrong. I want to believe you and Maya. But I saw the witch's scepter on the floor. No one else could have dropped it. When I saw the professor, everything went black in front of my eyes, but I did hear the scepter fall to the floor. There was a witch in that room, and it had to be Maya.
Luke.
If only the professor were here to tell me what to believe in. I can't think on my own. I'm
Well,
about
yeah,
as good as a
obviously.
woman.
Layton never told him how to do that.
Yeah, also, I think I said a thing... Oh, right, no, I looked up... Right. I looked up a thing a while ago that I think is the key to this trial, because I had a suspicion based on one thing,
Okay.
and I was right. And I'm not going to say it because it's kind of... Anyways, I'll say it once it's revealed.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mr. Wright? We need to dig down to the truth as soon as possible, for Maya, and for Luke, too. I hope we can do it. It'd be easier if there were some clear contradictions in their testimonies, but I haven't noticed anything. Perhaps this time, we should take a step back and observe each witness while they're not the one speaking. The four of them are listening to each other's testimonies.
Wrong. Voice.
The four of them are listening to each other's testimonies. Sorry, that may give me an opportunity to question them on one another's testimonies and find gaps in their theory and their story. They're full of good ideas. You're full of good ideas, Isabella. How about we give that a shot?
It's interesting because something popped up, so maybe something will pop up this time.
Yeah, sure. I think that was like training wheels, where it's like, you know.
But it happened earlier in this trial.
I think that was to remind you.
Okay.
I don't know. I cannot explain the inside idea of this game. We've already read this,
Yeah,
right?
we've already read this. I'm just gonna like
Look at the others as they're talking. Oh. Nothing. What about in here? No. Well, actually, sorry. Luke looks a little off in that.
Luke looks a little off all the time. He always looks the same.
Damn.
No, I mean in this trial, he looks this way every time.
Okay.
This is fun gameplay to me. Loving this gameplay. Ah, gameplay.
Oh, gameplay.
Okay.
It wasn't that one.
I think it might be her.
Hold it!
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, this is different.
Oh. Did you actually see the familiar?
Oh, dearie, dearie me. No, I did not. When that boy opened the door, the familiar had just disappeared. Had the boy opened the door sooner, no doubt we all would have seen it. It's actually his fault. If he were my student, I would have made sure to teach him not to dilly-dally. What the fuck? Jesus! I made a joke where she was like, what a stupid kid for being so slow to open the door. But that's what the game is doing.
Yeah. Yep. Is everything alright, Luke? You seem to be in deep thought about something. No, it's not right at all. Is there something in Miss Primstone's testimony that you'd like to comment on? It's what I keep telling you! The professor wouldn't point a knife at anyone!
Dearie, dearie me. What an impertinent child. I'm telling you, I saw a knife. I distinctly saw the glint of a sharp blade.
Objection!
It's his fucking finger, isn't it? At any rate, as we can see now, the victim's arm is missing. As such, there is no proof that he had a knife.
Objection!
That is but a mere detail. It matters not.
A mere detail matters not!
Oh my. Anyhow, I wonder, where could that missing arm be?
Yeah, that ought to be looked into.
Oh my god. Wait, did you just figure it out? Because I just figured it
What?
out. He took
Did you
the
just
arm
figure it
fucking-
out?
He fucking sold the
And
arm!
sold it? Oh my god, he
To
did.
get all
didn't
these
he?
fucking jewels!
Of course. Mr. do you have something you'd like to share with us?
It took me way too long to figure this one out.
I don't know. I guess that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense and it's really funny.
Mr. Amir?
It's Mr. Beer Punching Ball Guy. What the first to you, Bluey and Bingo? The likes of you ought to show some respect for a future man of wealth such as me.
You seem to be looking ahead to a future full of newly gained riches.
I can look wherever I bleed and please. Anyway, why are you looking at me like that? I don't know about that gun bloke's right arm.
Excuse me, Mr. Wright. What is it, Espella? I may be wrong, but there's something about that man. Wouldn't you say he looks, suspicious? It's not just you. Everything about him is so shady it makes me want to double check my pockets. Damn, Phoenix. Mr. Amir, stop pretending you don't know anything about the victim's missing arm.
Pretending? I told you I know nothing. Nada, 0, nil. I ain't seen it or heard about it or put it in my pocket.
Put in your pocket.
It wasn't me, honest. Seriously, I've got nothing to do with it.
Objection! Mia! You lying, cheating, good for nothing, you tried to
my
deceive
God.
me!
I think my voice for him was accurate.
Yeah, I think so.
Order, who is that person?
Are we gonna have someone fucking jump down from the stands every trial?
I think so. You want to know who I am? I'm Price the Prawn Broker. And this man is a shameless cheating bum. He had the nerve to lie to me. What did he lie to you about? Hi, Shred Shack Place. I'll tell you, on the day of the crime, Amir came to my shop. He waltzed up to me saying he got his hands on a superb work of art, rare as gold dust.
I think I know where this is going.
That work of art, could it be? I've got it right here!
Just like I thought.
That's... oh my.
Professor? That's the professor's arm!
It's pure gold, exquisitely crafted. It was entitled towards tomorrow, or something like that. I'd never seen a piece of gold so fine before. And so, suspecting nothing, I paid that rascal a rather handsome sum. Who would have thought? And what am I hearing now? That it was a human arm, no less. You, sir, are a monster. You're as bad as a witch's familiar yourself. I didn't know it was his arm, I swear. When I saw it, it was already like that.
What do you mean?
I was last to the scene, and it caught me eye right away. That golden arm pointing up at the ceiling with such optimism and authority. I thought it looked like it showed me the way to a better, brighter, richer tomorrow.
You know what it was sitting right beside?
The staff.
You remember, right?
Wait, what was it sitting right? Oh my god, it was sitting right. Everything you need for a fun Friday night. I'm always saying this. To me, it was a work of art, a precious one at that. And then it found its way into your pocket and you pawned it. You mounted it on a crude stand, gave it a tawdry title, and passed it off as some kind of a sculpture.
Don't try and look away from the truth now.
Darn it, I can look wherever I darn please. Oh, look away from the facts, head forward to the future. Always look on the bright side, baby. That's the mere punch and bog's motto.
Why did they not put a name tag on that one? No!
Where were we now? Ah, yes. The victim's arm has been successfully reattached by one of our masterful craftsmen. You know, they're so masterful that if he were to come back to life, I believe all the veins and sinews and such of his actual real arm would come back together like nothing ever changed. Anyway, Knights of the Court, you may resume the Inquisition. Don't worry, I'm just helping the Cinema Sins situation.
Yeah.
I don't want them to ding us for that.
Ding us?
Well, yeah, of course, we're making the movie.
We're the creators, yeah. At least one thing's clear now. As everyone can see, the victim definitely wasn't holding a knife.
Oh, dearie me. It seems I may have been mistaken after all. When you think about it, the victim had already been turned to gold when we entered the room.
According to the witness's testimony, that was the case, yes.
Well then, I'm sure you'll concede that it was easy to mistake that glittering pointing finger for a knife. Indeed, the victim's finger has a glint to it, resembling that of a sword's edge. Such a sense of power and intensity. It's enough to send a shiver down the spine of anyone being pointed at.
No puzzle is a match for the power of the professor's pointing finger.
Power of the finger, baby!
I guess no one remembers I'm known for pointing like that, too.
It's not cool when you do it, Phoenix. That's the point of the whole game. That's the whole game.
Uh-huh. I think your pointing fingers makes quite an impression too, Mr. Wright. Just like Maya, Spell has gained the ability to read Phoenix's mind.
So true.
She's just taking pity on me.
Is that all you had to say, Sir Blue Knight?
Huh?
As I said before, whether the victim had a knife or not is completely irrelevant. Yeah, what he said. You'd better apologize to me now. And yeah, give me back the arm. Badgering me for no reason like that.
Is that all there is to it? Or could that arm hold some other clues? We've come this far. Maybe there's something else you could ask about. She's right. I need to ask some more questions. Well then, Mr. Amir, perhaps you could tell me one more thing about that arm. We know when he found it. How much did you...
Where was it lying?
Where was it lying? I think that is the one we want to ask.
Yeah.
You found the arm on the floor, pointing upwards, you said.
Yeah, I did. Find his keeper's eyesight. He was pointing straight up at the ceiling. The arm somehow happened to fall down in such a way that it landed upright.
What are the odds of that? Actually, that reminds me of a puzzle. What? The bread puzzle? Do you remember?
Oh my god, the bread puzzle!
The bread puzzle.
Oh.
Now, if you could just show us on this floor plan here. I'd like to know the exact spot where you found the victim's arm.
Sure, I remember that well. My destiny, after all. It was right there.
It's not near the other toys.
Yes. That's where we would have expected to have fallen.
Now, if that's where it was, then something's definitely not right.
If you keep looking at that sketch so intensely, you shall burn a hole in it. Or perhaps you're going to claim there's a contradiction in it somewhere?
This arm is the final clue left by the professor. Even after turning to gold, he was pointing out something important. Namely, the key to solving this case.
Well, Defender, do you see any problems in the locations as marked on the sketch? Actually,
yes.
There is a problem.
And actually, we should go to break.
Let's go to break. We'll come back to find out what the problem is.
What problem? The only problem here is that
They're not burning that witch fast enough. Whoa, burner! Burner! Right back.
this is what burners are.